What's up, guys? We are back for another video. I told you we were going to continue doing these. Today's going to be a little bit different. Today is going to answer a question that I get asked all the time. And I don't hate getting asked this question, but sometimes it can get annoying, mostly because I don't know how to answer the question. So today, we're going to answer that question. So for all of you that do want to know this answer, here it is. So let's go ahead and get started. So I get asked this question pretty often. It's not a question that I hate getting asked. It's more of a question that I hate trying to answer because it's a difficult question to answer. That question is, what camera should I buy? That's a very difficult question to answer because there are so many cameras out there and there's so many different cameras for different purposes. So that alone is a very loaded question. So I usually break it down with, what do you want to do with the camera and what is your budget? So most of the time when people ask, they either want the camera as a hobby or for like their YouTube channel, or they're looking for something to do professional work with. They want to get into real estate photo or video, they want to get into weddings, whatever it may be. People aren't asking what kind of camera should they get to go shoot feature films with. They're asking how to get started in the commercial video world. So for that first person who's just looking to get the camera because they want to take photos of their kids, their family, their dog, or just go out hike and take photos of them and their friends, that is usually a cheaper camera. It's something that you can pick up for a fairly reasonable price. When it comes to doing commercial stuff, you're usually going to spend more money because you want to invest in something that's going to last a long time and give you a good image and make your product look even better. So that is where the next question comes in. What's your budget? Because the person who is asking for the camera for their personal stuff, they very well could be in a better financial place than the person looking to start a commercial business. And they may want something very nice as well. So I always have to ask, what is your budget? Because this helps me figure out what kind of camera I should even start to advertise for you. Generally, most people are giving me a budget of $1,000. I get asked all the time, what camera should I buy? I have $1,000 to spend. I have a very hard time answering that question because there's not much that you can get for $1,000. Now, I will say there are some cameras you can get for $1,000, and if this is just for, keeping at the house, taking photos of your friends, your family, there's a lot of options out there because you don't need the highest quality stuff. But I will also say that we've done this a million times, your iPhone takes just as good of pictures as most lower end cameras, and it's in your pocket. You don't have to buy lenses, you don't have to worry about spending more money, and you don't have to worry about lugging more gear around. This right here is a great camera to get if you're looking for a cheap camera. This is the Sony a6000. It comes with this little 16 to 50 millimeter lens. It's an old camera. It's gonna be hard to find new. You can find it used. I bought this used a few years back because I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $400 and I figured, hey, why not? It's a camera, 400 bucks. This can go in the fishing pack. If I fall in the water, I don't have to worry about ruining a good camera, and this will take perfectly good pictures to post on Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff. It's not something I'm not using this to make money. It's something that I'm using to take photos with my friends. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly camera like that, I suggest looking for maybe a little bit of an older model camera that looks like it's in good condition. On Facebook, find a friend that's selling something that you can buy from them. Or you can find something like this a newer model, and probably spend $700 to $800. But this is not gonna be the type of camera that you want to use for commercial projects, or even, in my opinion, for vlogging, because you have to have an external way to record audio because there are no audio inputs on this camera. So you have no way to record audio to this camera other than the internal mic that's on here, wherever it's at. So this camera is not good if you want to make a YouTube channel. It's great, like I said, for throwing in your bag, taking photos, that kind of stuff, but it's not a video camera. It's not a camera to be used to shoot vlogs, you know, out here talking to it, etc. Let me interject here and say this is not sponsored by Sony. Sony, if you would like to sponsor me, I would love that because we're ordering some FX6s. I'd like an FX9, a couple A7S IIIs, you know, all kinds of glass. If you want to sponsor it, go ahead. But this is not sponsored by Sony. But I am going to recommend Sony products in this video because Sony is what I know. I used to use Canon, but I haven't touched Canon in forever. Sony products are what I know. They make great video, they make great photos, and that's what I'm gonna recommend because they also come in at fairly good price points and they have a good lineup with different prices on each end that come in handy for the person who doesn't want to spend a lot and the person who has a larger budget. So let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. You want a good camera to start a YouTube channel. Your budget's $1,000. I'm gonna tell you to probably save a little bit of money and try to spend more in that range of $1,500 to $2,000 because hopefully your YouTube channel grows, but you also, in my opinion, still want to have some quality equipment for your YouTube channel because that quality is going to help set you apart from the rest. So for around $1,500 to $2,000, hold on, let's jump on the computer. So if you're starting a YouTube channel and you're looking for a camera, if you can go to that $2,000 range, you can pick up the Sony a7 III. It's on B&H right now for $1,900, and that is going to be an amazing camera to use. It comes with a 28 to 70 millimeter lens. It's not gonna be the world's greatest glass, but it's going to get you by for a while. And this is a camera that a lot of low budget commercial projects are being done with. So a lot of internal corporate stuff that you might see is being done with these cameras. I know a lot of people in the production business who are using the Sony a7 cameras. I am recording on a Sony a7S III, and then I have an a7S II right here. These are all relatively the same cameras and they all do a great job. And you can get the more consumer end camera of the a7 series, the a7 III, for $1,800, $1,900 on B&H. And you're gonna be set up. So if maybe your YouTube channel takes off, you really like doing video, you could step into making some money with it on a corporate side, doing more commercial style stuff. Or if you wanted to get into TV, it works great for TV. It's got a great audio interface, it's got interchangeable lenses, it shoots 4K video, it's a fantastic camera. And it's a great camera to have to do just about anything with. So if you're really stuck in that $1,000 range, you can't go above that, then I would recommend looking at that Sony a6400. You can get it on B&H for roughly $1,000. It's a great camera. It's got the little flip up screen on the back. So rather than this screen like Sony's always had until the a7S III and this a6400 that just pivots like this, it actually flips all the way up. So that way, when you're vlogging, you can see yourself in it. It was designed for vloggers. It has audio inputs and it shoots good video. It's a little bit older, it's a couple years old. It's not the newest thing out, but it's still a great camera. It only costs $1,000. It comes with this same 16 to 50 millimeter lens, and it'll get you started. It's also a great camera if you're just a hobby shooter, you just wanna go out and take photos, then that would be the camera I would recommend. If you are looking to really expand your YouTube, possibly get into some commercial stuff, like I said, I'd look at that $2,000 range. Go with something like the a7 III. Now, going to the next camera lineup, we're going to look at getting into more commercial, bigger budget projects, somewhere where you need to have the money to spend. I get asked all the time, hey, what camera should I get? I want to get into doing weddings, real estate, some local business commercial shoots, maybe corporate stuff. What should I get? I have about $2,000 to spend. If you're looking to get into doing this as a business, I suggest completely scrap that $1,000 to $2,000 budget. Yes, you can go for that a7 III in that $2,000 range. However, I would suggest expanding your budget more to that $5,000 range. Reach out, find that extra money, get a business loan, do something like that. You can still get that a7 III, but I would suggest getting better lenses because that glass is going to make all the difference. So let's just say we continue to keep it at the a7 III. Still, you're going to need monitors, batteries, cards, lenses. You're gonna wanna have multiple lenses. You really need to expand that to that $5,000 range. So you've got extra budget to play with, so you have all those different things that you need. Because guess what? One battery and one card is not gonna get you far on a corporate shoot. A battery for the camera that I'm using right now is $80 a piece, and it's gonna last me an hour, maybe. If you are recording all day and you're on a shoot, you're gonna need multiple of these batteries because they don't charge in 5 minutes. You're gonna wanna have 4 to 6 of these with you. Well, that right there is almost 600 bucks if you're buying 6 batteries. You're gonna wanna have cards. The cards on this camera, they cost $400 a piece. You don't have to use them, but they're the better cards to use. If you wanna use a standard fast SD card, you're still spending $100 on a card. You've got to have that money to spend to get better quality content and to stay on set longer without running out of card space and batteries. It does take time getting started. I was working at a restaurant bartending while starting my video business, and then eventually it took off after about 1.5 years, and I was able to quit that job and go full-time into my business and make good money. It does take time, but I invested the money up front, bought good gear. I bought this right here, this camera. This lens I bought later on, but I was also renting this lens because I didn't want to buy this up front because, again, I was trying to save money. I wish I had bought it up front because the money you spend on rentals half the time ends up being what you could have just bought it for. So this right here is the A7S II. It's got a 50 to 500 millimeter lens on it, and this was pretty much my #1 thing to go to when it came to shooting outdoor TV. I had this lens, and I had a 24 to 105 and a 24 to 70, and that was what I used when I was filming outdoor TV shows. Now this was all rigged out with a cage, a monitor. I had a whole audio rig with a shotgun mic, a lav mic, all these other things on here, but this was the base of what I was doing. This has filmed so many TV shows. I would say that this right here, this package alone, is probably over 100 TV shows. And every TV show, give or take, I was making 4 or 5 grand. So, I mean, what is this? I paid, I don't know, probably 8 grand for the whole package in the end. You shoot 2 TV shows and you've made money. So, spend the money up front, buy something good, and get stuff that you can grow with, not something that you're gonna have to replace in 6 months. So that pretty much sums it up. If you're going to buy a camera, don't just buy what you need now to get started. Buy what you need to continue on and to make good videos, make good photos, because in the end, I think from my experience, there's a lot of gear that I bought that I thought I needed or that I cheaped out on that really I wish I had just saved my money and bought something nice to begin with. So if you're getting started, you want to do more professional work, buy something nice. If you are just trying to have a camera that's gonna be in your fly fishing bag, and if you fall in the water you don't care about, buy the cheap camera. If you're mom and you're looking to take good photos of your kids and you don't just want to rely on your iPhone, just get something like this. This takes great photos. It's 24 megapixel. It's more megapixels than your iPhone. You can get better lenses when you have the budget for it, and it's a great camera. But that's all I've got for today. Take your budget, work with it, expand it if you need to, because I think that will help most of you that want to do this professionally in the long run, and you will thank me for that. And if you don't need to expand it, if you're just doing it for fun, then don't expand it. But that's all we've got for today, guys. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk about what camera you should buy, because this is all confusing. It still confuses me. I still don't know what cameras to buy, but hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this helped you. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, share it, like it, all that jazz, do all those things. And guys, I will see you in the next one.